I first realized something was amiss when I noticed how the usual scent of Chloe's perfume, the sweet, floral top notes balanced by a synthetic undertone, no longer calmed me at day's end. Instead, it left me strangely uneasy. On that particular night, as I walked through our front door, that scent felt overwhelming, as if it struggled to hide something else entirely. Chloe waited for me in the hallway, illuminated by our overhead lamp. Her body language was off, eyes too bright, grin too taut. Tension clung to her posture, giving the impression of someone bracing for confrontation. In her hand, she held a single sheet of paper as though it were a valuable prize. She didn't even let me set down my briefcase before exclaiming in a breathless voice, "Adam, you won't believe it. I got it. I finally got it." I tried to smooth the worry lines from my forehead, offering a subdued smile. "Got what exactly?" Before I could fully set my briefcase down, she thrust the paper at me. It bore her company's letterhead. Underneath it, in bold letters, was promotion confirmation. My stomach clenched. I knew she'd been aiming for a promotion. She told me all about the extra hours, the supposed competition among coworkers, and the tension she faced daily. For months, she insisted this was the key to better pay, more status, more everything. I inhaled slowly, reminding myself to be proud. "That's fantastic, Chloe. Congratulations." Even as I spoke, a flicker of apprehension rippled through my chest. Something about her demeanor, this feverish excitement, didn't quite match what I'd expect from normal joy. It was more like an over-the-top triumph, almost manic. She paced in the living room, her heels echoing on the hardwood. "I told you it'd pay off, right?" she said, her tone skirting the boundary between excitement and unease. "They finally recognize everything I do. I'm not just an easily replaced employee. I'm becoming a project lead." I nodded, forcing a smile. "That's great. So how does it change your day-to-day? More responsibilities? Or—" She paused near the couch, brushing hair away from her face. "I'll be heading a new team working with top clients. Really important stuff. They want me to start taking on tasks. Well, actually, I've already begun," she quickly added, as though catching herself. That slip sharpened my suspicions. She implied for weeks that the promotion remained just around the corner, so hearing that she had already started was jarring. "Wait, you've already started on these tasks?" I'd asked, eyeing her carefully. She offered a tight smile. "Yes, well, not officially, but I've taken on some initial responsibilities," she said, adjusting her stance. I was about to ask more, but she abruptly turned away, grabbing the letter from me for another read. As she lifted it, my gaze snagged on the letter's date, June 12th. Meanwhile, I knew the real date from my phone, October 15th, a 4-month gap. My heart lurched. "Chloe," I said gently, "this letter, it says June 12th. That was 4 months ago. Why is it dated so far back, if you're only telling me now?" She tried a half laugh, but it came out forced. "You're focusing on the date? Maybe they prepped it earlier, or maybe the final issue date was off." But the tension in her posture deepened. I tilted my head, scanning her expression. "Chloe, this is official. It has your HR director's signature, the company stamp, and it's definitely from 4 months ago. Did you already have this promotion that long?" Silence. She paled slightly. There must be a printing error. Maybe they typed the letter months ago." She swallowed, voice quivering. Suspicion churned. "Then why only tell me now? Why have you been acting like you were fighting tooth and nail for a position you apparently got in June? That's no small oversight." She stepped back, the paper trembling in her hands. "Adam, please let me explain. It's complicated." But then the phone rang, cutting through the tense air. We both paused. She stayed frozen in place, so I walked to the kitchen to answer. "Hello?" A calm, methodical male voice. "Hello, this is Mr. Daniels from Redwood Solutions HR department. Am I speaking with Adam Parker?" A jolt of alarm hit me. Redwood Solutions, closed workplace. "Yes, that's me. What is this regarding?" "I'm calling to inform you that, as of today, we have terminated Chloe Parker's employment for violating company policies. We've identified evidence of document falsification, misusing company resources, and an inappropriate relationship with a management-level colleague." I gripped the phone tightly. I managed, forcing composure in my tone. "Is there some official letter or next steps?" "We'll mail an official letter and send an email notice. It's effective immediately. If you have questions, you can contact us or speak with our legal department." Understood. Thank you, I said and hung up. My heartbeat thundered as I stepped back into the living room. Chloe stood by the couch, her face ashen, eyes full of dread. She must have overheard. I set the phone down and spoke, voice low. You're fired. I got off the phone with HR. They said you falsified documents, misused company resources, and had an inappropriate relationship with a manager. My throat felt raw at the last phrase. Her tears brimmed instantly. She clutched the letter from earlier, which was now worthless. Adam, I can explain. I just wanted more security. The forging was to show better metrics, so they'd keep me in that role. And the manager, it was never supposed to be anything serious. I messed up, but anger and heartbreak warred in my chest. Wasn't supposed to be serious, so Redwood, your entire company calls it a relationship. If it's enough for them to label it inappropriate, that's not a minor slip. She covered her mouth, tears sliding down her cheeks. I was under so much pressure. I thought forging a few documents wouldn't hurt if the results looked good. And the manager, he offered me stability, said if I cooperated, I'd be indispensable. I never meant to hurt you. I was going to tell you. I was too scared. My gaze hardened. You've lied for months, apparently hooking up with your boss, forging data, all while playing me for a fool. You waited until today to wave around this promotion letter. There's no way to twist that so it doesn't look like deliberate deceit. She stumbled forward, tears intensifying. Adam, please, I did it for us. More money, a bigger place, a better life. I didn't want you to worry. I thought I could handle it myself, but it spiraled. A bitter laugh escaped me. For us. That's a poor excuse for forging documents and having a fling with your boss. If you cared about us, about me, you'd have talked to me instead of shutting me out and weaving this entire false narrative. She broke down weeping, losing her grip on the letter, which drifted onto the coffee table. I felt a swirl of rage and heartbreak. Without fully thinking, I pulled out my phone, snapping the camera out to record. She recoiled, eyes flaring with panic. Adam, no, don't record me. Why are you doing this? She exclaimed, voice trembling with desperation. I circled around the couch, filming her. The world deserves to see who you really are, Chloe. The one who lied about a promotion for 4 months, forged data, ended up fired for unethical behavior, and apparently cheated on me in the process. Let them see the meltdown, I said, my voice cracking with a savage bitterness. She tried to shield her face, sobbing uncontrollably. No, this is humiliating. Stop, please. I paused the recording, my hands shaking from the surge of adrenaline. Humiliating, you humiliated me for months, lying to my face. Don't talk to me about humiliation. I stuffed my phone away and stared at her tear-streaked face. The woman I'd once loved so deeply was now a stranger. I can't do this anymore, Chloe. She reached out, almost falling off the couch. You can't just leave. We built a marriage, a life. We have a mortgage, memories. You can't walk out in one night. I inhaled, trying to steady the storm inside me. Watch me. The trust is gone. You kept me in the dark, used me, and gambled everything on forging documents and pleasing your manager. Redwood's done with you. Now so am I. She let out a wail, tears flooding anew. But I can fix this. I'll come clean about everything. I'll go to therapy. I'll do anything, just don't end us. I shook my head. You ended us. This is just the aftermath. I grabbed my jacket, stepping toward the door. My mind flickered through the memories, the wedding day, the honeymoon, the nights we laughed over silly jokes, all overshadowed by her illusions. She struggled to her feet, trailing me to the doorway. Adam, please at least talk to me again when the anger settles. Let me explain deeper. I cut her off with a hollow stare. There's no explanation that repairs months of deceit. Good night, Chloe. I yanked open the door, stepping into the night's chill. The porch light bathed the yard in a faint glow. My heart hammered as I walked to my car, not looking back. Once inside, I started the engine, letting out a harsh breath. The phone lit up. Chloe's name. Probably wanting to plead more. I let it ring unanswered. Driving away, each house I passed seemed bathed in a calm that mocked my storm of emotions. At a stop sign, I nearly broke down, tears stinging my eyes, but I breathed deep, blinking them away. I was done living in her labyrinth of lies. Eventually, I pulled into my friend's driveway, my limbs trembling with exhaustion. He answered the door in his pajamas, worried. I gave him a brief explanation. Chloe's betrayal, forging data, Redwood's call. Everything? He nodded in shock, ushering me in. I was grateful for his silent support as he set me up on the couch. Lying there, staring at the ceiling, I let the heartbreak roll over me. Even as sorrow weighed me down, I felt an odd relief that the tension and illusions were done. Her final betrayal had erupted, leaving me with painful clarity. In the coming days, I'd figure out the logistics, legal steps, finances, living arrangements. The next steps might be messy, but at least they'd be honest, because I refused to remain tethered to a woman who'd risk everything for a deceitful pursuit of more. As I drifted into a fitful sleep, I felt the first stirrings of acceptance. Yes, I was devastated. Yes, trust was shattered. But in letting go, I might find a life free of her manipulations. In the end, the final betrayal was as thorough as it was merciless, but it was also a kind of liberation.